How many of us live our entire lives living forward and looking backwards?
How can I help you?
I'm 37,
Yes?
and when I was in high school, I was 16, I fell in love with a girl.
Okay. This girl that you fell in love with when you were 16, is she in your life right now?
She's not. She moved to another city, but I still love her.
Okay. Well, right now you love the idea of her because she's not there to love. You don't know who she is anymore. So you love an image from 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, that's true, but don't step over that. That's not like a small fact. That's the whole point of this conversation. You want to step over it like, well, that's an incidental point. That is the only point. You are in love with an image from 20 years ago. And it's not really love, it's more like an obsession, but it would be linguistically correct to say that it is an obsession or a holding on or a cherishing of a sweet image from 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true, but is there any problem over here?
Yeah, there is.
And what kind of remedy is there?
Well, the problem is simple and the remedy is even simpler. And it is so simple that you'll try to make it difficult. Most people do. I'm going to tell you a story about how they catch these very exotic monkeys that are very beautiful to look at, and they're very clever and hard to catch. And of course, the people that want to catch them don't want to hurt them. So what they do is there's a particular nut that they really like. The people that want to catch them put this nut down in a bottle that's attached to something, and it's just big enough for the monkey to get its hand into and grab the nut. But once they have the nut, they can't get their hand out. Okay? Now, all the monkey has to do is simply let go, and they can pull their hand out. But they're so attached to the nut that they lose the rest of their life. They lose their freedom for a nut in a bottle, when there's plenty of nuts all over all the trees. Do you understand the metaphor and why I'm telling you this story? You are holding on to something when there are an abundance of beautiful, wonderful women who are probably looking for a guy just like you. And you're hanging on to this nut. You're hanging on to something that's gone. Sorry, she's gone.
I know she's gone, but I can catch her somehow, some way.
Maybe, maybe not.
There are lots of gorgeous girls around me. I can catch them very easily. But nobody actually is going to be very attractive to me emotionally.
They don't have a chance with you because they're constantly being compared to an ideal. You have never been authentically been with, soul to soul, eye to eye, heart to heart, body to body with another woman when this other image wasn't present. Every time you're with another woman, you have this ideal that you're comparing it to, that's stuck there in your head. And so they can never compare to that. They can never be that woman. I'm like the GPS system. I want to know where you're at, and I see that because you've told me, right? But what you haven't told me is where would you like to go? Where do you want to go from here? Do you want to have a profound relationship with a woman, or do you want to go try to find this woman? She might be married, fat, and ugly by now.
Yeah.
You might be extremely disappointed. Listen, I ran into some of my high school sweethearts, and I wish I hadn't. I know there's lots of sites where you can look up people and stuff like that. And you know, if you want to spend some time and money and energy pursuing somebody that from 20 years ago, go ahead. I don't think it's a good investment.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the show and the time.
Thank you for your trust, and thanks for calling me. Thank you.